The purpose of this video is to show you how to set up a custom domain name for a Google Cloud Run service or a Firebase hosting project. For a Google Cloud Run service, go to the Cloud Run dashboard and click on the link to manage custom domains and add a mapping. Click on the link to add a mapping and select the Google Cloud Run service that you want to add a custom domain for. And if you are mapping for a new domain, you'll have to verify it first. So click on the link to verify a new domain. And it asks you for the base domain to verify, and that's going to be the second level domain name. For example, 494900.xyz. And then there's a link to verify the base domain in Webmaster Central. And it provides instructions, and the instructions are by domain registrar or provider. In our case, just scroll all the way to the bottom and choose Other. And then the instructions required are presented. So what you have to do is add a text record for the domain with the specified value. So you can copy the value. And then in another tab, go to the Google Cloud DNS service. So under the main menu and networking services, Cloud DNS, and choose the zone and add a record set. And what we're going to be adding in this case, you leave the DNS name blank. We're going to be adding a text record, a TXT record, and paste in the value that you got from the previous page. And then click on Create. And so that adds a DNS record, a text record, with the specified value that proves you have control over the domain. And then you can return to the Webmaster Central tab, and you should be able to click the Verify button. And in this case, it wasn't available. It wasn't able to verify immediately. There might be a little bit of a delay between when you create the DNS record and when you're able to verify it. Usually no more than 5 minutes. And you can see the domain is verified. And just a reminder that you might have to be patient for that process. That took several minutes for me. I just edited out the video while I was waiting for the domain to verify. So just be patient. So then once it is verified, you should be able to return to the Google Cloud Run page. And you might have to refresh the list of verified domains, and now that newly verified domain is selectable. So I identify the service in Google Cloud Run that I want to assign a custom domain. I select the base domain, and then I specify the subdomain. So random in this case. And then click on Continue. And this seems a bit stuck, but I'm just going to, what it would normally show is the changes, the additional changes to the DNS records that we have to make. I'm just going to click on the Done item, and I can still get those DNS records from the Action column for the custom domain. So if you just click on that and view the DNS records, well, still not showing, but I'll just take the DNS records from the previous custom domain because they're all the same. And they're all going to look like this. So the value for the CNAME record is always ghsgooglehosted.com. So I'll copy that value and I'll go back to my zone, and I will add a record for that. So the custom domain is going to be random. It's going to be a CNAME record, and the value for that is going to be ghsgoogleHosted.com. And I'll create that additional record. So there's the custom domain for the service. It's a CNAME record for ghsgoogleHosted.com. And so when this domain becomes active and the custom domain gets set up in Google Cloud Run, then when somebody visits this domain name, they'll be redirected to the underlying Google Cloud Run service. And so that's how you set up a custom domain name for Google Cloud Run. The process for Firebase hosting is similar. So I'll go to the console. I will go to the project and the hosting details. So Firebase hosting creates 2 standard domain names for a hosting project. If you want to attach a custom domain name, you click on the Add Custom Domain Name button, type the full custom domain name, click on Continue. Now, in this case, it just gives me the A records that I need to set up in the DNS. If I had done the Firebase hosting exercise first, it would have asked me to verify that I own the domain, and there would have been a similar process about creating the text record. But because I already verified ownership of the domain for the Google Cloud Run custom domain, I don't have to repeat that process. I just have to create the new A records for this hosting project. So it gives me the 2 IP address values that I'm going to use for this new hosting project. So I'll just copy the first one, go back to the zone editor. I'm going to add a new record set. I'm going to give the custom domain name, of course, is 2. It's an A record. I'm going to paste in the first address, add a spot for the second address, and grab that second IP address and paste that in as well. And then click on the button to create those records. And there they are. Again, it may take up to 5 minutes or so for these to become active. And I return to the Firebase hosting page and click on the Finish button. It identifies that the custom domain name is connected to the hosting project. Later on, when it's completed, it says that it needs setup. And it's just a reminder that it's asking me to add these records. So we've already done that. Like I said, there will be a bit of a delay, but eventually what you should see is the connected message for your new domain. But again, it may take a little bit of time before that's established. Also, there'll be a bit more time until it provisions the TLS certificate. That takes even a bit longer than just simply connecting the domain name to the correct IP addresses. So just be patient, check back periodically, and eventually it should have the connected message in the status column.